Tonight in Seattle, Washington, someone is punching their ticket to the Final Four. Will it be Ohio State or Virginia Tech? Taking a look at our bracket, 3 of the 4 teams are set with South Carolina's win over Maryland. They will meet Caitlin Clark in Iowa Friday, 9 Eastern on ESPN. LSU awaits the winner of this game between the Buckeyes and the Hokies as we welcome you courtside. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside Rebecca Lobo, the Hall of Famer. So happy to be with you for what should be an outstanding Elite 8 contest here in Seattle. One thing we saw in Ohio State's win against UConn, freshman Cody McMahon does not look anything like a freshman.
Well, she certainly has been playing like the best freshman in the country throughout the course of the NCAA tournament. She's been able to get to the rim at will by playing so strong, averaging almost 20 points and 9 rebounds a game in the postseason. Even hit a couple of threes in the Sweet 16 game against UConn. You cannot help but pay special attention to Cody McMahon.
Her numbers from the Big Ten tournament through the NCAA tournament, just outstanding. You see the production from McMahon. Meanwhile, for Virginia Tech, the entire nation is learning about the greatness of Georgia Amoore.
How much fun is Georgia Amoore to watch play basketball? She too has stepped up her game in the NCAA tournament, averaging 24 points a game. She had 29 in the Sweet 16 win over Tennessee. She makes the hustle plays. She involves her teammates, averaging 5 assists a game on the season. And yeah, she loves everybody as well.
Well, one thing Georgia Amoore and the Hokies will have to deal with tonight is the press of Ohio State. For more on that, here's Andrea Carter.
That's right, Ryan, and it's not just any press from Ohio State. It is a press that's been described as all or nothing, and it's a read and react press, so it's not the same every time, but there are a few things you can bet on that make this thing work. And the first one is pressure from the front line. If you watch J.C. Sheldon, just high activities to keep the ball moving until there's an opportunity to engage in the trap. And once the trap engages, the second line reads the ball handler. Where is the next pass going to go? And if they can make a break on it, like a defensive back, that's what makes this thing work. There were 3 back-to-back-to-back turnovers that Ohio State forced Connecticut into with their physicality and their activity that got them the lead, and they did not look back from there. Intensity is what this Ohio State press works and thrives off of. And for more on the matchup, here's Holly Rowe.
Well, you guys talked about Georgia Amoore, and I'm not sure if she's Batman or Robin, but I know that for Virginia Tech to win, they'll need both, because Batman and Robin for that team all season long has been Liz Kitley and Georgia Amoore. Liz Kitley is the 2-time ACC Player of the Year. She has averaged a double-double in the NCAA tournament, and even though it's been quiet, it's been consistent. Her coach, Kenny Brooks, said she is our advantage tonight. So if they can beat the press, if they can feed the post, Liz Kitley has to finish well, and it's something she's done her entire career. 55 double-doubles is tied a school record. She has to go to work. A little Batman, a little Robin, you guys decide who's who.
All right. Kenny Brooks, so they're both Batman tonight, seeking a first Final Four appearance both in his career and in program history for Virginia Tech, and for Kevin McGuff, seeking his first Final Four appearance, and it would be Ohio State's second, their first since 1993. Seattle has been a wonderful host city all week long to this regional, and we are underway in the final Elite 8 matchup of this year's tournament.
And one thing you notice right away is the size advantage that Liz Kitley has inside. And there comes the double team.
And passes right out of it to Traylor, who knocks down the 3. Kayana Traylor from downtown. Taking a look at our Capital One starting lineups. You see the starting 5 for Ohio State. Both of these teams rely heavily upon their starters. They work tight rotations, 6 or 7, rarely more than that. Here's Walker scooping it up and in. It has been a really impactful tournament for Ebony Walker as we take a look at the Virginia Tech starting 5 as they get ready to work against that press that Drea just diagnosed so beautifully.
And one of the ways that Virginia Tech can beat it is just that. Georgia Amor dribbling through, getting the ball safely into the front court.
You know, we talked about how much these teams rely on their stars. Look at the scoring in the tournament. 92% of the points for Ohio State from their starters, 95 from Virginia Tech, and an early three from Kayla King. Kenny Brooks says, when we get 3 or 4 shot Kayla from 3, that's usually when we win, not 2 shot Kayla.
That right wing from the three-point line has been friendly to the Hokies so far early in this one.
McMahon thought about it, putting it on the deck, using her size and speed. Cody McMahon.
That's strength on strength because Taylor Soule is an incredibly strong defender, and McMahon's still able to get to the basket.
Amor pedals all the way in for the easy lay. Georgia Amor averaging 24 points per game in the tournament. Good pace early to this game. Here's Mike Zell, lethal from 3, and knocks it down.
Much like we saw in the game yesterday with Monica Sanano in Iowa defending middle on-ball screens, you're going to see that a lot from Ohio State, involving Liz Kitley and seeing what she can do defensively.
Kitley faces up and finishes. There's the matchup Holly was talking about. Kitley has the size to finish over top.
I never mind Elite Eight games where both teams are shooting 100%.
Sheldon says, sorry, Rebecca. And Amor and the Hokies did a really nice job breaking that press, first couple of chances against it. Here's King, rainbow arcing and in. Kayla King buries her first 2 looks from downtown. 90% of her career field goals have been from 3, as Mike Zell says, not so fast. How about the start to this game? Virginia Tech very poised here against the press. They got to get it across, though, and they just do. Good movement, though, and then Sheldon disrupts Kitley only for a moment as Kitley finishes. That was one thing that Kevin McGuff was worried about, the looks Virginia Tech would get on the back end of breaking the press.
And especially when your defense doesn't have a chance to get down and double Liz Kitley, because we mentioned the size advantage.
McMahon is going to get called for the offensive foul. McMahon had serious size.
How about Taylor Mikesell? Barely needs her feet set, just has to have her shoulders facing the basket. King stepping into it, holding the pose, and then Mikesell one more time. Wow, what a shooting exhibition so far in this one.
Quite pleasing to the eyes to begin this game. Ohio State 4 of 5 from the floor. Virginia Tech 6 for 6. Early foul on McMahon, who does run into foul trouble from time to time. Here's Soule to the reverse, lays it in.
That's her strength. Taylor Soule is strong off the bounce and able to get inside, use her power to finish.
A transfer from Boston College, who has made a major impact here at Virginia Tech, along with transfer Kayana Traylor, as Walker splashes in another. Ebony Walker playing the best basketball of her career right now.
And she's really good when she catches around that high post area, and her advantage in this matchup with Kitley is to drive by, which we have seen, and then also that mid-range pull-up.
Here's Amor looking inside. Soule attacking McMahon, trying to get that second foul on her, and that is the first missed shot of the game for Virginia Tech. Kenny Brooks' team, plenty of offensive firepower. Take a look at the three-point shooting thus far in this game. Virginia Tech, 36th in the nation this year in three-point shooting percentage. They shoot it as 35% as a team. McMahon unable to scoop it in. Kitley flags it down for Virginia Tech. A 17-12 lead. First quarter of this Elite Eight matchup. Kitley trying to escape the pressure. Theory had her hands all over Kitley, no call, and Ohio State forces the turnover. 3-on-1, and Sheldon lays it in. J.C. Sheldon, the senior who has made a major impact since returning from injury.
And Ohio State no longer picking up in the full court press after Virginia Tech got a couple easy looks against it.
Kitley on the move, gets denied. McMahon on the rejection, out of bounds, going to stay with Virginia Tech. A 3-point lead for the Hokies midway through the first. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to Seattle, and Virginia Tech's point guard Georgia Amoore scored 29 points in their last game, but last season, head coach Kenny Brooks showed me this video. Watch Amoore's defender on the step back crossover. It's no disrespect to the defender, it is only respect for the crossover. He brought me in his office and said, I've got a special player for you. She even finishes the shot, and you know you're doing something right when your staff gets leaning to the left. Georgia Amoore is special. Coach Brooks knew it early on. Now everybody's getting to see it.
Yeah, that was really, first of all, the reaction is just priceless from the coaching staff there, Rebecca. But I thought it was so interesting talking with Kenny Brooks about the way Georgia Amoore is performing throughout this tournament and what stands out to him most and what he's most pleased with. As Amoore fires, can't hit from three there. Kitley able to clean it up. He said the thing that he loves most is that everybody else is getting to see it.
I mean, she's certainly a delight to watch play basketball. She was on full display in their Sweet 16 game against Tennessee.
Said, we see it every day. I've seen it forever. He loves that everybody else is now getting to appreciate the game of Georgia Amoore. McMahon crosses over and gets the roll.
Amoore made Yumi, Andrea, and Holly as well lean to the right a few, or lean to the left a few times in that last game.
(1916) Virginia Tech in front of Ohio State. First quarter action of this Elite Eight matchup. Trailer bouncing around, gets it to Amoore. Guarded closely by Ricky Harris, who had a huge game in the Sweet 16. Nice box out there from Walker. McMahon, what a feed down the floor. Harris bobbled it momentarily. Theory couldn't finish it. Good D from Gregg, getting back in the play. Here's Amoore.
Give it to Kitley. Yeah, she's had the advantage inside.
That time knocked out of bounds. Going to stay right here. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Final Four begins Saturday at 6 Eastern on CBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. UConn, Miami, San Diego State, Florida Atlantic.
And the way Ohio State is double teaming Kitley, her teammates have to let her know where the double is coming from so she can pass it out quickly. Right here, triple team. Tell her where you are.
Wow. How about that triple team and a jump? Possession arrow belongs to Ohio State.
When you're surrounded, you can't always see where your teammate is, but you can hear her voice. So here, the screen comes across. When Kitley catches it, tell her where you are. She can't see. She's just trying to protect the basketball. You got to holler at her.
Mikesell connects. Taylor Mikesell is locked in early.
She was quiet from three in the Sweet 16 game. Had a couple nice drives to the basket, but she is not quiet from three today.
Mikesell has found a home here in Ohio State as King gets fouled on the three, and Kayla King is going to shoot three.
How many times have we seen Taylor Mikesell take the handoff, going to her left, get her feet set, and make the shot? And that's with the player that Kitley is defending, because she's not going to step out in hard hedge, so now it's all on the guard defender to get around and contest.
Holly?
Taylor Mikesell off to a great start. She is an obsessive worker on her shot, and we asked her where did she get that from. She said it's her dad, Kevin. He used to run marathons. He's run 9 marathons. And when I talked to Dad, like, how did you teach her this insane work ethic? And he said, well, we would get up early in the morning, 5 a.m., and go shoot no matter what before I would go to my 12-hour shift as a doctor in the ER. So Mom has also been an educator for 30-plus years. This is a hard-working family, and Taylor Mikesell said she gets that work ethic and shooting obsession from Dad.
Pretty cool. As she said, he ran those marathons while he was in med school, which is just amazing when you consider the time that's gobbled up by that. McMahon gonna get the bucket plus the foul. Cody McMahon a chance for 3 when it looked like it could have been foul number 2.
Cody McMahon is so strong. This is a freshman with that kind of frame, and as she posts up, Greg right there, I wouldn't have called anything. A great post up though by McMahon and a great finish. I mean, look at that frame. This is a freshman.
McMahon with 6 points. Talking to Kenny Brooks about going up against McMahon, and he said she is a woman. Was so complimentary about her game, her strength, how complete she already looks as a freshman.
I mean, you're 18 or 19 years old. Usually it takes a few years for your body to completely mature, and that's not the case with her. She is just big, strong, and powerful.
And as Kevin McGuff says, absolutely has a palpable joy for the game of basketball. Here's Sheldon on the attack, lays it in, and Ohio State has its first lead of the Elite Eight.
So interesting to me how they've pulled off their press, because that's been such a calling card for Ohio State for much of the season.
First time trailing in the tournament for Virginia Tech. Gregg and Harris whack into each other, and the foul is called on Ricky Harris, her first.
Great finish by Sheldon, because Liz Kitley's long arms are there, but she scoops right through it, doesn't get her shot blocked. A nice finish.
Sheldon missed 23 games with a foot injury. Kevin McGuff did not want to bring her back until she was completely healed, ready to be at her best, and she has been. King dishes out, Soul back to King. Kitley, good positioning. Kitley couldn't wrap it in. Mikulashikova with the defensive stop there.
Yeah, Mikulashikova brings better size at 6'4", and you see she is strong as well.
McMahon a little too strong. Mikulashikova on the offensive rebound. And then Ohio State throws it away. Virginia Tech basketball. And Kevin McGuff thought that Rebecca Mikulashikova could be a big player in this game.
Not only defensively because of her size, but on the offensive end of the floor, again, because Kitley will be guarding her, and she is very capable from the perimeter. You can get some pick and pop situations with her.
6'4", played just 4 minutes against Connecticut. Here's Amore, bouncing back, finding Gregg. Gregg will fire, no. Rebound, Taylor Theory for Ohio State. About a 10-second difference, game and shot clock. Entertaining first quarter. Ohio State shooting it at 71%. Mikulashikova over to Sheldon, turning the corner, stops, fades, and hits.
I thought she was going to pay off the story and pass it out to wide open Mikulashikova for a 3.
Instead, Sheldon now 3 of 4. It's a 6-0 Ohio State run. Amore cuts between 2. What a whip to the corner. 1 second left. Gregg gets it off. Can't knock it down. And that's how the first quarter will end. Ohio State a 3-point lead after 1. We'll talk to Kevin McGuff, Ohio State head coach, when we return in this Elite Eight matchup. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One is brought to you by Under Armour. Protect this house. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with Ohio State head coach Kevin McGuff.
Coach McGuff, you went early with the pressure, not so much late. How are you deciding when and how to employ that?
We're going to use it sparingly. We're a little banged up, a little tired, so, and they're really good dribbling through, and I don't want to give anything up easy on the back end of it.
Your offense has been on fire. What do you like about this aggressive mindset right now?
Well, we're moving the ball and attacking, and that's the key for us. Sometimes the ball sticks and never ends in a good shot. If we move the ball and attack them, I think we'll get really good shots.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
First of all, incredible questions by Holly Rowe as always, but what was Coach McGuff talking about? You'll see it right here. Georgia Amor and her ability to dribble right through the press. 3 defenders there. She splits one. She's going to split a couple of more, and it leads to a layup the other way. Things were coming too easily for Virginia Tech against that Ohio State pressure. Ryan, Ohio State pressed the entire game against Connecticut, and we've only seen it in about half of the first quarter.
And Virginia Tech has struggled when pressed this season. You see their turnover rate, and we saw that against Tennessee at the end of that game where Tennessee started to cut into what was a big Virginia Tech lead.
They did get better in the latter part of the season, in particular in the ACC tournament, where they played 3 teams who really like to press: Miami, Duke, Louisville, and they were able to handle it well and win those games.
And a foul here, I believe, is going to be on Walker.
There you go again, fixing my microphone. Thank you.
This one was more slight than the other day's debacle. It was just, this was like, I just need a little bit, to the point that I was debating it, but the audience needs to hear you at your best, so it had to be done.
You got to fix Holly's before the next interview.
Yeah, I'm not sure that one I can do. Ohio State a 3-point lead. Walker, great job fronting Kitley and denying.
Did you see? She's giving up size, but she knows to get low into the body.
Theory flips it in. Ohio State with a 5-point lead here in the second quarter. An 8-0 run for the Buckeyes. Amor. Virginia Tech started 7 of 7, 1 of 9 since. Kitley had Amor open, didn't see her behind her. Gregg has size on Sheldon and takes advantage.
Really nice hook shot there by Deasia Gregg.
Deasia Gregg, incredibly high basketball IQ. Kenny Brooks joking with us about how she calls out drills before he does, just to show off how in tune she is with coach's game plan.
Ebony Walker only 6 feet tall, and she has a defensive assignment on 6'6" Liz Kitley. Look at her, she's low, she gets around, she forces the turnover, and you can score off of turnovers even if it's not the full court press, and this is the result of it. The nice drive by Theory.
How about that shot of the fronting? That was outstanding.
Outstanding. Oh,
Amor takes a shot to the face and is down.
Oh my. Was there a whistle?
Foul on Walker, that is her second. So Walker checks out for Ohio State. And Amor is gonna need a moment. Ooh. Oh, that is not good. Georgia Amor.
The previous play is under review.
Walking with help gingerly to the Virginia Tech bench.
Coming up at the Degree halftime report, South Carolina on their way to Dallas. We've got highlights from another dominant performance from the reigning champs, but tough to see Georgia Amor go down there for a bevy of reasons, but also because she has been huge for them this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, she quite frankly was the reason why Ohio State had to pull that pressure back in terms of their full-court press. We certainly hope that isn't anything serious.
Well, and then I think the other play action of Ohio State knocking down the 3 ball. Mike Sell 3 for 3, perfect from the field. That's negating that 3-point spread that you typically see.
Certainly, we wish the best for Georgia Amor as we get it back to Ryan and Rebecca.
Yeah, well, that is potentially devastating for Virginia Tech. Georgia Amor, their star guard, who has shined, left the court a moment ago with the aid of the athletic training staff of Virginia Tech. And so now The Hokies, who rely so heavily on Amor, have to try and navigate without her as Seoul gets off to a good start.
And of course, you would expect Ohio State without Amor on the floor to pick up in their full court pressure anytime that they score.
Sheldon, little hesitation. JC Sheldon lays it in.
And here it is.
So how do they break the press without Amor? Trailer. Trapped and stepped out of bounds. Virginia Tech turns it over. Georgia Amor is back on the bench for Virginia Tech, saying, let me go back in, I'm okay. Saying, I'm good with a big smile. So that is outstanding news for the Hokies. As Ohio State turns it over, and here comes Georgia Amor. All of Hokie Nation exhales. So that did not look good initially when Georgia Amor tried to get up. 29-26, Ohio State in front. Amor will fire off the mark, and Sheldon the weak side rebound. Sheldon bounces back. There's what you're talking about, Rebecca. Mikulashikova did not hit that one, but a clean look. Amor veering, dishing, Kinley finishing.
But Kevin McGuff did tell us that Mikulashikova is a kid. If she hits a couple early, she can really feed off of that and continue to be effective offensively.
Mike Sell hit 3 threes in the first. Hands it off to McMahon. McMahon dumps it in, Mikulashikova. And that's going to be a 3-second violation on Ohio State as they turn it over.
Amor dashing through the defense once again. A beautiful drop pass to Liz Kitley. And yes, when your point guard drops you a dime, you point at them on your other way down the floor to say thank you.
Kitley with 8 points. Nice touch pass here from King. Kitley turning, can't hit. McMahon comes down with a rebound.
That's Kitley's shot, though. She loves the turn over the right shoulder and the fade.
McMahon dishes out. Mikulashikova off on the 3. Great box out from King, and here comes Amor. Amor will pull and hit from 3. Georgia Amor, her cousin loving it in the crowd. Her cousin Keely plays at Portland. That was the only other school in on Georgia Amor as Mike Sell knocks in the 3.
Keep running a little handoff action for Taylor Mikesell behind the 3-point line.
4 for 4 for Taylor Mikesell. And a whistle against Ohio State on Mikulashikova.
Threes are wild so far today in this game. Both ends. Georgia Amor just coming down in stride, stepping into it, and Taylor Mikesell the other way. Little handoff action.
Here's Trailer trying to work baseline on Sheldon. Terrific defense there from JC Sheldon.
Just a great job, too, because she got up on her toes, but was able to get there and cut off the baseline.
All big defensive team a season ago, all Big Ten.
All big defensive team.
Yeah, they took out the 10. I don't know why. We'll have to talk to them. All Big Ten first team as well. This year, did not play in enough games to garner those awards, but has been playing like that all Big Ten first team player since returning as McMahon knocks in the mid-range J.
Man, Ohio State's doing an elite job just working behind the screens of their bigs to get clean looks.
You have 2 very well-coached teams here. Amor. Kitley getting position inside. Amor missed it left. McMahon skies in for another rebound. Here's Mikesell. This time going to drive it, float it, and hit it. Taylor Mikesell is 5 for 5 from the floor. Okay, on a trailer to the cup, got fouled. And that'll send Traylor to the line. A chance to end a 7-0 Ohio State run. What a first half it has been. Mikesell, electric from deep. Ohio State the 5-point lead as Liz Kitley dominates on the interior.
Welcome back to Climate Pledge Arena, a place where Taylor Mikesell feels right at home. She's 5 for 5 on the afternoon, 4 for 4 from 3. All she needs is her big to hand her the basketball behind the three-point line, and she's gonna make it, driving it in effectively as well.
Here is tonight's player resume brought to you by Indeed. And Taylor Mikesell, 7th in Division I in three-pointers made per game. As we send things over to Drea.
Well, Taylor Mikesell is absolutely on fire, but this is how you have to guard her because of her sharp shooting, especially in this game. Kayana Traylor has done a solid job. If you watch at the top of the key, she switches onto Mikesell and then closes the gap with a high hand and then chops her feet and keeps the distance close. That was excellent defense by Traylor on Mikesell. It's just very hard to maintain that consistently.
Taking a look at the hoop scoop on Taylor Mikesell. Would make 200 shots every day in the driveway growing up, going back to that work ethic Holly was telling us about that she learned from her dad, Kevin, and her mother, Teresa. It wasn't Mother Teresa, but just her mother named Teresa. I saw your face, Rebecca. They didn't like the joke.
They certainly like the way their daughter's been shooting the basketball.
Well, and you know, we saw something Drea pointed out last game as well as Traylor hits both free throws. The attack off the dribble when she was closed out on. That's something she worked on a lot in the offseason after Kevin McGuff had gotten feedback for her from people in the WNBA about if she wants to make the league, what needs to happen. Well, King might have gotten away with a kick there. Virginia Tech comes away with a turnover. (36-33) Ohio State in front. Ohio State shooting at 69.6% from the floor. King knocks in another, her third three of the half. And that's the magic number for Kenny Brooks. Game tied at 36. Mikulashikova out to Sheldon, and that's a travel. Ohio State turns it over. Well, for the third straight year, every NCAA women's basketball championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. You're home for all 90 NCAA championships. All games are on the ESPN networks and the ESPN app.
Family of networks.
36 all with 3:40 to go in the second. Kitley, deep catch, surrounded by two. Cuts through them, puts it on the floor, and gets called for the travel.
Liz Kitley on the defensive end of the floor has done a terrific job staying out of foul trouble, has not even picked up one. She is vital to them. They do not have size coming in off the bench at the center position, so very important that she's been able to play clean defensively.
McMahon, what a spin and finish from the freshman Cody McMahon.
I'm so glad we get 3 more years of her at the college level.
A show in person. Amor cuts through the D. Traylor back to Amor, thought about it. Good closeout there from Harris, and a 3-second violation called against Kitley.
This Kitley, there's been multiple times where she's been open inside and they have missed her, and you see the beautiful spin by McMahon to get the easy look on the left side of the rim. The move isn't easy, but the finish is.
J.C. Sheldon was talking about how she does not look at McMahon as a freshman at all, not just in the way she plays, but also in the way she uses her voice, her presence. And you sit down with Cody McMahon and right away, she leaves that kind of impression.
Sometimes that's the hardest thing for freshmen, is to be confident and speak in practice and in games and communicate well, but she has certainly been able to do that from the jump. Mikesell
again Taylor Mikesell. Yeah, that's 5, Dad.
What's he gonna do when we get to 6? We're gonna use both hands.
If we get to 11, he might be taking off socks. Amor sidestepping 3. Oh, yeah!
Was that a violent dance move?
It felt like it. There's a breeze that you feel at the table when Amor goes right to left. McMahon leaning, no. Greg the rebound. What an entertaining first half. Both teams shooting it incredibly well from the floor. Kitley out to Soul. Soul spins, dips, floats, finishes, plus the foul. Taylor Soul a chance for 3.
Taylor Soul's the type of player who wants to initiate contact, is comfortable because of her strength and size. That is a tough finish falling away.
Think about some of those gritty, tough, physical, wing-ish defenders we have in this game. Soul and Greg for Virginia Tech. Taylor Theory and Ricky Harris for Ohio State.
I love a wingish defender.
Virginia Tech back in front. Sheldon leans in, gets the whistle, and J.C. Sheldon is going to shoot 2. Kenny Brooks not in love with the call as Sheldon will go to the line.
Ohio State has such great space in the lane and spacing because of the shooters that they have on the floor. Taylor Mikesell in the right corner, you can't leave her ever. And they had McMahon in the left corner, and that just left good room for Sheldon to operate down the middle.
Sheldon hits the first.
I mean, look at this. Corner, corner. You can play a little bit off of McMahon, but Greg was too late getting there.
And Sheldon hits both. Looked like the correct call as well. With
yes, yes.
How late Greg was getting over. Sheldon up to 10 points. Ohio State leads by 1. A trip to the Final Four is on the line tonight in Seattle. Soul burrows in and finishes again. Taylor Soul using her physicality effectively in this first half, 9 points. Mikesell, that time, caught air. And Taylor Mikesell's first miss of the game had been 5 for 5 from 3, 6 for 7 from the floor now.
And the Virginia Tech band has the nerve to yell air ball. It's been money until that last shot.
Keep that one in the tuba. Amor sidestepping 3. No, barely grazed the rim, and Kinley was fouled. Mikulashikova knew it that time. No contesting that whistle. And Kitley's going to go to the line with Virginia Tech in the bonus.
And now both of Ohio State's bigs with 2 fouls. Mikulashikova picks up her second here. Walker has been on the bench for a while with her second. Man, we have been treated to some incredible basketball out here in Seattle, haven't we?
And to some incredible crowds.
Yes.
Seattle is an unbelievable women's basketball city. No coincidence, the Seattle Storm unveiled a gorgeous new practice facility today. This city embraces its women's hoops. Mikesell leans in, can't finish, but gets the whistle.
Looks
and
right.
Taylor Mikesell is going to shoot 2.
I think she looked right over at the tuba player.
Taylor Guyman, who did not get action in the Sweet 16 against Tennessee. She is the 7th player of Kenny Brooks' rotation as Mikesell hits the first. You think about the way these teams are built, Rebecca, and there are similarities in the roster with some of the sharpshooters. A great point guard, a force on the interior. McMahon and Kitley's game's different, but
Correct,
size
yes.
for both of them.
Yes.
And then some wings who can really defend.
And great coaching.
Yes. Shot clock is turned off. Virginia Tech a 46-45 lead on Ohio State. King bounces to Amor, a deep one off the mark, and Soule is fouled. By Heaven Bristow. Getting some minutes at the end of this second. Soule did a nice job of selling the contact there as well, so Taylor Soule already 9 points in the half, going to the line. How about Ohio State, 3 players in double figures. Virginia Tech, 3 players in double figures. Soule got them both. Mikulashikova into Sheldon with time. Sheldon has to get it off, does, and that is how the first half will end. Riveting opening half in Seattle. Taylor Mikesell helps guide 64% shooting from Ohio State. And Virginia Tech shoots at 55% themselves. A 3-point lead for the Hokies, and Kayla King is with Holly Rowe.
Kayla, you're the leading scorer right now, and you guys have been hot from 3. Tell me, what is it like going back and forth in a game like this with everybody's hitting threes?
I mean, both of the teams have great three-point shooters. I think we have Liz Kitley inside, and Georgia has had a great March Madness. So, I mean, I've been left open a little bit. So we'll just see what the second half brings.
There was a scary moment. Georgia goes down hard. What did that team say to each other in that moment, and then what did you think when she came running right back out?
I mean, we just said she's carried us this far, so we got to do it for her. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a first half in Seattle. One more team headed to the Final Four tonight. Taylor Mikesell trying to make it Ohio State. Georgia Amor says, not so fast. Time for Elle Duncan and our crew in the studio. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. How about that shot? Seattle, Washington, Virginia Tech, a 48-45 lead on Ohio State as we get ready to start the third quarter. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. What an entertaining first half. It was just so pleasing to the eyes. The shooting was amazing, especially for Taylor Mikesell as we take a look at our game changers presented by Under Armour.
I mean, Taylor Mikesell was absolutely ridiculous, especially from 3 in that first half. Sets a great back screen. When you set back screens, you are often open, especially if you come off of a screen by Rebecca Mikulashikova. Here again, works the screen, just gets the handoff. She gets her feet set so quickly, her shoulders squared so quickly, and they did a great job behind Walker's little handoff plays. I mean, she was outstanding in that first half. 6 of 7, 5 of 6 from 3.
You see the numbers for Mikesell, Kitley, and Amor as we send things over to Andrea Carter.
Well, Ryan, Elizabeth Kitley and Georgia Amor known as the scorers for Virginia Tech, but it was 2 players, Taylor Soule, who's known as the defensive stopper, who was aggressive on the offensive end for Virginia Tech, and then Kayla King, a sharp shooter all season long, but on average, about 2 threes made per game. She had 3 in that first half. Other players stepping up for the Hokies.
Oftentimes, that's the difference in games like this. How about only 2 points from either team's bench in that first half? 91 of the 93 points scored came from starters. Told you that has been the trend for both these teams, especially during this tournament. Here's McMahon. Off to Walker, who sat a lot of that second quarter with 2 fouls. Couldn't swivel that one in. Amor, who scored 8 points after returning from that hard foul in the second quarter. Trailer was looking inside to Kitley.
A post player would say, I don't care if you look. You got to make the pass.
A deep one from King. Back iron, no. Theory snares the rebound for Ohio State. Virginia Tech seeking its first appearance in the Final Four. Ohio State its second, and its first in 30 years. McMahon bodies it up and off, but a foul. And Cody McMahon is going to the line.
Really nice job by Ohio State, giving it to Cody McMahon where she can drive to her strong right side, get a couple feet in the paint, and get herself to the free throw line.
Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, you guys are raving about her maturity as a freshman, and it's worth noting she came in last year in December. She said, I was meeting with my family. We were maybe going to transfer high schools when my athletic director said, well, you know, you're pretty close to graduating. You could just leave early and get those credits. So she did that. She came into Ohio State last year in December, didn't play, but she got used to campus, got used to classes, got comfortable with the team and the system. And that comfort level has allowed her to shine this year. You talk about maturity. She got in early, even though she gave up that senior year.
Such a wonderful point, Holly. And she also emphasized how it allowed her to see how Kevin McGuff wanted his team to play. Had that in mind as she took the floor then this season. Soule out to Traylor. Oh, nice little dance move from Traylor. Kitley lays it in just before the shot clock fades.
Great job by Kitley to be patient once she caught the basketball, stay on balance, and finish.
12 points for Elizabeth Kitley. Virginia Tech a 3-point lead. Here's Sheldon kicking out. Sheldon curling, cupping, and finishing. J.C. Sheldon coming through consistently for the Buckeyes.
Done a nice job, right? When she's driven down the left side, avoiding a block shot by Liz Kitley. We've seen that a couple of times.
5 of 7 from the floor is Sheldon. Here's Amor. Amor turns the corner. She will hoist, missed it left. Kitley looking to flag it down and cannot save it. Ohio State basketball.
Liz Kitley has the size advantage, but you still have to be patient. Just good job closing out, pump fake, keep your balance, and then go up.
Elizabeth Kitley, the 2-time ACC Player of the Year. Here's Mike Sell. She is fouled on the floor by Kayana Traylor. That is the 3rd foul on Traylor. And that's going to send in Deasia Gregg for Kenny Brooks.
Two mellow fellas on the sideline as well.
He'll be going up against Kim Mulkey on the sideline next round.
Neither mellow or a fella.
Here's Amor. Soule off to Amor. She will fire and hit on the deep 2. Georgia Amor in double figures. Here's McMahon. Spinning, taking, can't finish it. Kitley the rebound. Virginia Tech with the basketball leading by 3. Neither team has led by more than 7 at any point in this game. Tightly played. Both teams have shot it well. King, short. Rebound Sheldon. Gets it to Mike Sell. Pass was a little behind her. Walker gets it back to Mike Sell. Mike Sell trying to get space and draws the foul on King. That will be her 2nd.
Georgia Amor, only 5'6", but man, is she bouncy. And once she gets the ball in her hands, just uses the screen by Soule beautifully, stepping into the jumper.
Sheldon. 10 to shoot. Mike Sell will fire. That one rims out. Offensive board Walker. Sheldon gets a clean look. Can't hit. And the long board goes to King. Now Amor pushing for Virginia Tech. Gregg Gets it into Kitley, quick turn. Soft touch, but it rims out. Sheldon cups it, and a travel. Ohio State turns it over. Their 7th of the game.
I'm just still fascinated with the difference in Ohio State between their Sweet 16 matchup and the X and O difference.
Yeah.
Where they pressed almost the entire game against Connecticut and completely wreaked havoc. In this game, 4 times in the first quarter they pressed, twice in the second quarter. We haven't seen it at all here in the third because of how easily Virginia Tech handled it.
Kitley able to find the angle, bank it in, plus the foul. And her parents applauding. Yes, Ralph is a Virginia Tech dad.
A Wake Forest alum, but a Virginia Tech dad, and nice up and under step through move by Liz Kitley.
Ralph and Loretta taking in the action. I think Ralph's more nervous at the free throw line. Holly?
Well, I'm actually going to give Kayla King's dad a lot of credit right now because she was actually playing softball. Liz Kitley was a softball player, and he was her coach. He finally said to her, listen, you've got to go to basketball. We don't need you as a first baseman in softball in our team, in our town. We need you on the basketball team. So she transferred, got into basketball, and the rest is history. So good assist from her high school teammate, Kayla King's father, who was also an assistant coach for her high school basketball team.
That is a great story. And you do like it when youth coaches are looking out for the young kid rather than the wins and losses. As you see the numbers for Kitley, who's had an unparalleled career at Virginia Tech.
Holly Rose covered enough softball to know that Liz Kitley, of course, was a first baseman.
Yeah. Kitley's had a really big game here. 14 points, 6 of 10 from the floor, knocks in the free throw. Now, Rebecca, you were just talking about Ohio State going away from the press as much as they have. Any thoughts about when you would go back into it if you're Ohio State?
I would think maybe to start the fourth quarter, you try it a couple of possessions. I mean, but right now, as tight as the game is, you can't afford, certainly, to give up easy layups.
McMahon storms in and finishes.
They do such a good job of cutting so that McMahon can go right off of the back of her teammate and drive to her strong right hand.
14 points for Cody McMahon. Here's Soul. Soul turns the corner, couldn't finish it. Theory there defensively. Sheldon pushing pace. Sheldon shovels it out. Mikulashikova can't hit the three. She's had some good looks, unable to finish. And Taylor Theory able to draw the whistle on the loose ball. It'll stay with Ohio State. Virginia Tech, the 4-point lead.
Cody McMahon is a freshman to watch, a player to watch. Go ahead, go to your strong right with your strong frame.
Virginia Tech, a 4-point third quarter lead. Let's check in with Andrea Carter.
Well, Elizabeth Kitley has 5 points in this third quarter, but there was a possession where her teammates missed her a couple of times. I know if you freeze it here, that could have been a pass right into Elizabeth Kitley. Instead, it's a skip pass. And then as the ball comes back towards the top of the key, if we freeze it here, that can also be a direct entry into Kitley. I know Rebecca Lobo's blood is boiling, but then coming down the floor the next time, they were intentional on getting Kitley the ball, and that is when good things happen. They missed her one possession, then went right to her the next time down.
It's a sin to miss your post player multiple times on the same possession, especially when she's got a 6-inch height advantage on her defender.
And is that something spoken by non-post players as well?
Probably not, but by every single post player it is.
And we heard Holly tell us earlier in the game how Kenny Brooks felt like their advantage in this matchup was Liz Kitley. It has played out that way. Sheldon backs it out to McMahon. Shot clock is down to 6. McMahon dishes. Theory got the step and lays it in. Good decision there from Cody McMahon and a nice take from Taylor Theory.
Yeah, she went left and then made the nice pass.
Kitley gets it off to Greg. Kitley faces up. doesn't get the roll. McMahon flies in for the rebound, now pushing pace. McMahon, hesitation, spin, flip, couldn't finish it. Kitley the rebound. Virginia Tech looking to run. Amor bounces into Kitley. Double comes, swinging around. King fakes it, nearly threw it away, got it back. Kitley fumbles, still time here for Virginia Tech. Amor blasts inside and lays it in.
See? Into the post, out of the post, into the post, out of the post, you get a layup.
Paint touch is always a good thing.
It's always a good thing.
Sheldon working behind the screen, will fire, no. King the rebound. Just the second three-point attempt for J.C. Sheldon. Amor. McMahon nearly came up with a steal. Amor, 5 to shoot. Gregg will fire. Can't hit. Rebound taken by McMahon. Her 5th board. 14 points for the freshman as well. Ohio State has not been able to get looks for Mikesell in this third after her big first half. Wants the screen here. Mikesell does get a look. Can't hit, was on target. Just a little long. Amor flips it inside. Soule gets fouled by Sheldon. The second on J.C. Sheldon, and free throws here for Taylor Soule.
Georgia Amor has really good quickness, whether it's in the open floor or the quarter court here. The burst of speed, gets by with the left, finishes inside. We saw it in the first quarter against the press, just how she was able to handle and dribble right through, and there, a nice example in the quarter court.
You see what Georgia Amor has done in this NCAA tournament.
Well, you all see Georgia Amor going over and talking to head coach Kenny Brooks, and that's something that he told us was a huge development in her as a leader. He said she used to come over and I would have to tell her every single thing I was seeing. Now she comes over to me and tells me what she's seeing on the floor and she thinks would be effective. Huge growth, not only in her skill set, but also in her leadership.
Calls her his mini-me.
That's right. And talked about how he really threw her into the fire and coached her hard early on. Her freshman year, because of the COVID situation, had just 5 non-conference games, throws her in as a starting guard in conference play, really struggled. But wow, has she matured over the last couple of seasons. Timeout, Ohio State. Virginia Tech a 5-point lead, 1:49 to go, third quarter action of this Elite 8 matchup. Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance.
Georgia Amor so important to Virginia Tech. We saw her go down early in the first half, left the floor with help, was able to return as if she had never gone down in the first place. She's the engine that makes this Virginia Tech team go, whether she's scoring off the bounce, off the three, or involving her teammates. So vitally important to this team.
14th straight game with multiple threes made for Georgia Amor. Virginia Tech looking ahead to its first ever Final Four. Ohio State seeking its first trip since 1993. Iowa, another Big Ten team, headed to its first Final Four since 1993. That's going to be an offensive foul. Taylor Theory locked up with Taylor Soule. And it's Theory who gets whistled for the personal. And here is the Ohio State press. Holly Rowe let us know in the break that Kenny Brooks was preparing his team to have to break the press.
It's the first time we've seen it here in the third quarter.
Amor gets it across. King, and that's a 10-second violation. And you can see Kenny Brooks saying, we got to go.
And once the press succeeds, you do it again and again and again. I mean, you see how effective it was against Connecticut in that game.
For 16 turnovers with the press, 25 for the game. Ohio State is 19-0 when they force 20 or more turnovers as they give it up right here.
Look for Amor to get it and try to break it herself with her dribble penetration.
Virginia Tech has turned it over just 8 times tonight. Amor, there she is, doing exactly that, Rebecca. Kitley ends up open underneath, gets clobbered, and Elizabeth Kitley is going to shoot 2.
And that's the reason Ohio State took it off in the first half, because Virginia Tech was breaking it with Amor's dribble and getting clean, easy looks right around the basket.
Well, they're not going to give Kitley shots.
What?
Looked like she was certainly going up. Maybe not. Kitley, catch, fire, no. Nice job, look at Soule. A winning play, keeping the possession alive and then throwing it into the backcourt.
Taylor Soule here, that's a 50-50 ball, and then she's just determined to get it.
Taylor Soule told us the other day, I love defense. That's what really makes my blood boil. Said, I know many basketball players don't feel that way.
Does it make her blood boil or flow?
Well, she said boil, but I think flow. McMahon can't finish. And a foul on Harris, reaching in. That is going to put Virginia Tech at the line with Ohio State over the limit. And that's the 4th foul on Ricky Harris.
She felt like she had a lot of ball, but I think she had a lot of arm as well.
Especially early in that. I think there was an initial whack on the arm. So 4 fouls on Harris.
What's so frustrating for a player in this big moment to have your time limited by fouls?
Yeah. We saw Maryland deal with that in the earlier game tonight against South Carolina. Congratulations to South Carolina, headed to another Final Four as Greg hits the first free throw. Winner of this game will face LSU, 7 Eastern on ESPN Friday. And then at 9, it will be undefeated reigning champion South Carolina against Iowa as Greg hits both. A 7-point lead for Virginia Tech. That matches the largest lead of the game. You see the shooting struggles from Ohio State in this third after they were sizzling in the first half. Walker gets a good look and knocks it down.
It hasn't been a lot there hasn't been a lot that's been done differently defensively by either team. I think it is a little bit of fatigue setting in for both teams after really grueling Sweet 16 games.
5-point Virginia Tech lead. Shot clock turned off. Amor backs it out, looking for space. Amor finds it and hits! Georgia Amor, a scintillating finish to the third.
My partner likes to call this an aggressive dance move, the step back to the left to create the space and finish.
You saw Coach Brooks loves it. Yeah. Pantomimes it. And we'll talk with Holly Rowe when we come back.
Welcome back to Seattle, here with Virginia Tech coach Kenny Brooks. And Coach Brooks, you had to fly to Belarus to go see Georgia Amor, a player from Australia. How worth it is it when she hits shots like she just made?
I'll go anywhere in the world to find another player like that. Well worth it. You know, Georgia's special to us. She makes us go. She is why we're here. You,
just in your last huddle, prepared them that they might face that full court pressure again, and they did. How are you handling it?
You know what, we had a little bit of a hiccup right here at the end of the quarter, but I think we've done a really good job of handling their pressure, making sure everyone's available, and we've done a really good job of that.
Separator to win this game.
We just got to play our brand of basketball. We got to be ourselves, okay? We got to play our brand of basketball, not get caught up in the moment. 10 more minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much, Holly.
Let's check out tonight's player spotlight, brought to you by the U.S. Army. And Georgia Amor got off to a slow start with her scoring. She has certainly picked it up since it seemed as if she might be done for the game. Took a hard foul in the second quarter, needed help off the floor, was headed back to the locker room, and then very quickly came back out. There's another one of those conversations Drea was talking about between Georgia Amoore and Kenny Brooks. A trip to the Final Four is on the line. Amoore quickly grabs Taylor Soule to direct her with how to handle this Ohio State defense. Amoore through 2.
Ohio State now trapping in the quarter court.
Virginia Tech trying to head to its first Final Four. Ohio State its second. Amoore off on the 3. Weak side rebound, McMahon. Largest lead of the game for either team is right now Virginia Tech by 8. That foul is on the floor against Virginia Tech.
That's my favorite part of Cody McMahon's game, is the facilitating forward, getting the defensive board off the rim and pushing the other way, usually with great pace.
That's why you had the comp that you did in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, Alyssa Thomas, Kayla Thornton mashup.
I like it. More shooting than Alyssa.
Yes.
But the brute speed, force, strength of Alyssa.
That's right.
Amoore gets a clean look. Can't knock it down.
Twice in a row, though. A great in and out and good look for Amoore.
Here's Sheldon. Ohio State trailing by 8. The senior out to McMahon. McMahon spinning. Can't finish it, but gets the whistle. And Cody McMahon is going to the line. Third foul on Taylor Soule.
Such a good move and then counter move. She's so strong, driving hard to her right, but then her counter to spin back over that right shoulder and try to finish left.
McMahon hits the first. Let's send things to Holly Rose. We watch that gorgeous spin move.
Well, I was talking to her teammate, Ricky Harris, who wants to go into coaching, and she said she's come so far in those moves in the paint. When she was younger, she'd come in and she was like a bull in a china shop and she'd get in foul trouble. She was too strong, too fast. Now she's got the patience and the body control. That's been a work in progress.
Yeah, you can certainly see a player like that just running over defenders.
Oh, great break of the press, and it ends up with a Kintley layup on a beautiful feed from King.
And it starts with Amoore's ability to handle the pressure off of the dribble.
Sheldon loses it. Here is Amoore. Eyes up. Virginia Tech 65, Ohio State 57. Kintley, 2 more. Elizabeth Kintley with 19. Ralph's been standing a lot applauding. Timeout, Ohio State. Largest lead of the game for Virginia Tech. It is 10.
Liz Kitley, the reverse pivot, the finish. Trying to lead her team to their first ever Final Four.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? LSU, Iowa, and South Carolina all have punched their tickets to the Final Four. Who will join them? Will it be Virginia Tech or Ohio State? You take a look at the matchups. Caitlin Clark in Iowa against the defending undefeated reigning champs, South Carolina. That game will be at 9 Eastern on ESPN Friday. Before that, it'll be LSU. Kim Mulkey back in the Final Four, second year there, taking on one of these two teams. Virginia Tech leading by 10.
It's going to be a delightful weekend in Dallas.
Yes. And a whistle here. Going to go against trailer, and that, or make it King. And that will be King's third. Take a look at Virginia Tech's success this season. So many records set. First Elite Eight, first 1 seed, first tournament championship. And Sheldon gets free for the layup.
Great play drawn up. I thought Mikesell was going to come up, look for the handoff. Instead, she cleared through and gave the lane for J.C. Sheldon to drive.
Good screen from Soule, helped get Amoore across. 67-59, Virginia Tech leads it. Amor looking into Kitley. She's had a big night. Double comes, back out. Ohio State recovered quickly there. Shot clock all the way down to 3. King might have to hoist. King does. Got it on the rim, nothing more. Here comes Sheldon. Sheldon veers, dances, can't hit, but gets the whistle, and I believe that's going to be number 4 on King, as Sheldon will go to the line to shoot 2. We see Emmy Sheldon, JC's sister, a key ingredient to Ohio State's success, as we send things over to Holly Rowe.
Well, when we wrapped up our meetings with Ohio State, we said, what's the one story we should tell on national championship TV about your team? And they said, you've got to talk about Emmy. She makes it so we never have a bad day. Her relentless positivity, her hugs before the game make us all go, we have to get them. She is the piece that has made this team special this year, and they wanted to make sure that we told America.
It's a beautiful story, and Ohio State has had an incredible run trying to keep it going into Dallas. 7-point game. Amor surveying, attacking, finds Kitley, lays it in, plus the foul.
Good job, big girl. She goes right over to Amor and says, good pass. Encourage them to keep making it, and yeah, beautiful look. Nice finish with contact from Liz Kitley right here. She looks at her, good pass.
21, make it 22 for Liz Kitley. She has the last 7 Virginia Tech points. Lead is back to 10. Mike Sell. Virginia Tech's done a much better job on her in the second half. Amor got over not 1, but 2 screens there. Mikulashikova can't knock it down. She's had some good looks, now 0 for 4.
Outstanding effort defensively by Georgia Amor on that possession.
Kitley, look at the wide eyes of Kitley as she was calling for the basketball initially. Battling in the post. Amor tosses over to Soule. Back to Amor, 5 to shoot. No good for Amor, but a foul on the loose ball against Mikulashikova. It's going to stay right here.
Rebecca was just talking about the incredible effort on the defensive end, and if you watch Amor get under the screen, look at Kayana Traylor denying Mike Sell. Then they switch. You have to close the gap on a sharpshooter. High hands, good over the screen, over another screen. That is not easy to do. It takes a ton of effort. Give Georgia Amor and the Virginia Tech guards a lot of credit.
And that's why Kenny Brooks was willing to go to Belarus to get her. Timeout taken by Virginia Tech as they make sure to retain possession with 6:02 to go in the fourth quarter and a 10-point Virginia Tech lead over Ohio State. The inside-out combination of Amor and Kitley has really had it going tonight for the Hokies.
These two have great chemistry with one another. They're roommates as well, housemates. And here you see Georgia Amor, the drive inside, complimenting her dribble penetration with threes, and then a beautiful pass to Kitley, another one coming through. Clearly great chemistry, not only with those two players, but with the entire Virginia Tech team.
And Holly Rowe, these two are very close.
Well, it started from day one. Literally, as soon as Georgia Amor signed with Virginia Tech, she got a Snapchat one day, and it was Liz Kitley saying, hey, do you want to be my roommate? They've been roommates ever since, including Georgia Amor not going home during the COVID pandemic to Australia, fearing that she would get stuck there. She lived with Kitley's family in North Carolina for 4 months, so they are tight, and it shows on the court.
Sure does, Holly. Outstanding inside-out chemistry. Mike Sell looked like she might have had a look from 3. Instead, steps inside, can't finish it. Kitley able to secure it and get it into the arms of Amor. Mike Sell now 0 for 4 in the second half.
Ohio State in the quarter court trying to run 2 at the ball handler, trying to find disruptions and turnovers somehow.
Well, nearly found one there. Amor spins out of it. Still fighting. Amor throws it away, and it's going to be a tie-up, and Ohio State has the possession arrow.
When there's just as many bodies laying on the ground as there are upright, you know there's something at stake.
The shooting has cooled in the second half. Ohio State has not forced turnovers the way they did against UConn in the Sweet 16. They also have scored just 15 second half points after 45 in the first. Virginia Tech the 10-point lead.
Again, I think there's some cumulative fatigue for both of these teams from the last game.
Mikesell can't get it to drop, and a foul against Ohio State. Ohio State is already in the bonus, and they have been for a while. That will be their fourth team foul. Second career Elite Eight for Kevin McGuff. Took Xavier there back in 2010. In his 10th season at the helm of the Buckeyes. Amor has to get it in, finds Kitley. Kitley up to Traylor. Kayana Traylor able to break the press.
Kitley looked over at Greg, and Greg was the one who pointed at Traylor, so Kitley knew where to pass the basketball. That's being a good teammate.
Amor backs it out. 4:40 to go. Amor will fire and hit from three. Georgia Amor makes it a 13-point game.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Indeed. 18 for Amor. McMahon squeezes it to Harris. No. Kitley the rebound, her 9th, to go with 22 points. And Ohio State, who started 5 of 8 from 3, is 0 of 8 since. Soule into the arms of Amor. Amor working through the trap, gets it to Soule into the corner. Traylor, no. Rebound, Kitley, her 10th, surrounded and fouled.
And while it's late in the game and late in the clock with 3:44 left, it is still worth mentioning 7 times this season Ohio State has come back from double-digit deficits, and so much of that is reliant upon their ability to make shots from 3.
Elizabeth Kitley with her 22nd double-double this season, the 56th of her career, setting a new Virginia Tech school record. Those are the comebacks that Rebecca was talking about for Ohio State. Do they have one more left in the bag? Amor had to bounce it in, and it's stolen by McMahon. McMahon gets it to Mikesell from the corner. She got it. Huge 3 there for Taylor Mikesell.
Turnover, quick score. Turnover, quick score. That is the formula for Ohio State comebacks.
6-3 for Mikesell, her first of the second half. Amor running clock, sees the trap, gets it to the corner. Traylor putting it on the deck, slides around and lays it in.
The lefty going to her strong side for the easy finish.
7 points for Kayana Traylor, and a timeout taken by Ohio State.
For Ohio State to make a late push in this game, they're going to have to rely on their defense, much like this possession. McMahon with the steal and then pushing it, how quickly they are able to get the score. Not only the 3, but how quickly they were able to do it, not taking much time off the clock.
McMahon, a force in transition. Mikesell has 22. Sheldon has 15. McMahon with 16. For Virginia Tech, 22 from Kitley, 18 from Amor, 12 from Taylor Soule, and 12 from Kayla King. Winner of this game will face LSU, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Friday. And following that, it'll be Iowa and South Carolina. Here's Sheldon. Theory given a lot of space, and then Kinley gobbled it up. Amor tried to pedal it in traffic, struggled with it, and Kenny Brooks is going to take a timeout.
Great job by Liz Kitley to keep her arm extended. A little swipe of the wrist, but able to corral the defensive board after.
Coming up next on SportsCenter with John Anderson and Michael Eaves. Monica McNutt going to join the studio as the Final Four is set. Also the longest playoff drought in major sports set to end tonight in Sacramento. What's next after Lamar Jackson's trade request? SportsCenter next on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Well, I want to give a huge shout out to people here in Seattle. The total attendance for these regionals Sweet 16 here was 43,556. That is with no team within 1,000 miles of Seattle. Way to show out. They actually beat the Greenville attendance, which was 41,719. So all in all, guys, that is over 82,000 people at both regions. That is a new regional record. Way to go supporting this women's game that we love. Show out.
Incredible atmosphere and turnout support here in Seattle as Virginia Tech turns it over. Now remember, they only had 2 seconds to get it across.
But Kenny Brooks uses a timeout that could be very important as this game continues to go on. His team not only can't get it over the midcourt line, gets an offensive foul called.
And it was number 4 on Trailer. McMahon off to Sheldon. Puts it on the deck and gets the roll. 10-point game, still a lot of time left.
Remember, I mean, at the end of the Tennessee game, Virginia Tech had a really tough time against the press in that moment of the game.
Amor, winding clock.
Get Ricky Harris battling and displacing Liz Kitley on the block.
Amor will fire, no. Soul battling, keeps it alive for Virginia Tech. And then a whistle against Harris is going to put Kitley at the line, and Ricky Harris is fouled out. And it has been a frustrating game for Ricky Harris. And Kevin McGuff is saying, get to the bench, we don't need a tee.
I mean, she was battling and battling Liz Kitley in size. She's giving up so much size, but she was displacing her. And she was moving her and bumping her off of her spot. Like, you just can't do it. You just, and this is a little bit later in the possession, but she was bumping her off her line.
Kitley misses the first free throw. Now 4 for 5 from the line. Virginia Tech is 15 of 17. Kitley hits the second. 23 points for Liz Kitley. 11-point Virginia Tech lead. Kitley setting a record tonight, most double-doubles in program history, as the foul is called against King, and it is her 5th. So Kayla King is fouled out for Virginia Tech. Kayla's parents watching as she goes to the bench, and Theory hits the first free throw. 1:47 to go in this fourth quarter. Theory hits them both. Amor veers through defenders, gets it across, and then is fouled by Sheldon. Georgia Amor will now shoot free throws. Number 3 on Sheldon. Georgia Amor was so excited to be in this building where she saw the jersey of Australian royalty, Lauren Jackson, hanging in the rafters. where she knows Ezzy Magbagor, another Australian star, plays. Said she was going to sit in Ezzy's locker, send a picture and tell her, hey, this is going to bring me luck. So far, been pretty good for Virginia Tech and Georgia Amor. Another 20-point night. Sheldon can't finish, got fouled, and will shoot 2. Georgia Amor with 6 straight games scoring 20 or more. Tied for the longest streak by a Hokie in the last 20 seasons.
She's been outstanding throughout the course of the postseason, starting in the ACC tournament, stretching now through the NCAA tournament on the season, averaged 16 points, but has certainly upped that here in the postseason.
And she also has completely negated what was Ohio State's biggest weapon in the Sweet 16, their press.
Yes. She's a press negator.
That's right. On her social media profiles. Trailer, gets it across, squeezes it to Greg. Virginia Tech gonna run more clock.
They've been tremendously disciplined the last couple minutes of this game, understanding time and score.
Crowd starting to sense it. Amor off one leg, no, long rebound. McMahon pushing for Ohio State. McMahon gets fouled, and Greg took a hard hit there. So did McMahon, and they are both shaken up. Greg grabbing at her hamstring, McMahon covering her face.
She goes so hard and with so much force. She gets tripped up there.
McMahon trying to get steady on that leg and having some trouble doing so. The Big Ten Freshman of the Year, perhaps the best freshman in the country, who has shined on this NCAA tournament stage, clearly shaken up after that foul. Ohio State down 9 with 57 seconds remaining. And you could see not only Ohio State, but Virginia Tech fans also applauding the effort here from McMahon, who hits the first. Ohio State with just one timeout remaining. Can you leave McMahon on the floor defensively after this?
Looks like that's what Kevin McGuff is doing.
McMahon hits both. She'll stay in. It's a 7-point game. Still work to be done for Virginia Tech. And a foul called on Sheldon as Amor again able to massage the press.
When that double comes, it looks like she's a kid peeking around the curtain. She just gets her head by the defender, so her vision is never compromised in terms of seeing the open floor or an open teammate.
Taking a look at the Christmas presents. 78-71, Virginia Tech leading. Amor 2 for 2 from the line tonight. Amor hits the first.
Maybe Christmas morning, I don't know, but right here, just peeking around the curtain. You might be there, but my head's up and I'm gonna pretend like you're not.
Amor hits both. 9-point game. Virginia Tech on the brink of its first Final Four appearance. Kevin McGuff will take a timeout. .8 to go in this fourth quarter. Virginia Tech, the 9-point lead. As we welcome you back courtside here, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. First half, incredible rhythm, fluidity for both offenses. Second half, things have tightened a bit, but Virginia Tech has gotten enough from Amor and Kitley to keep Ohio State at bay.
Yeah, those two in particular, and not just the scoring from Georgia Amor, but when the pressure has come from Ohio State, she's been really able to handle it well. They've been really smart in the quarter court the last couple of minutes, extending the possessions, taking time off of the clock. You can see that this is a very veteran team for the Hokies.
Yeah, a well-coached team for Kenny Brooks' squad. You see the reset situation. Ohio State with the basketball now out of timeouts. Both teams in the bonus. Virginia Tech the 9-point lead and the possession arrow with 49.8 to go. Winner of this game will face LSU 7 p.m. Eastern Friday night on ESPN and the Bird Tarasi Show on ESPN2. Theory to inbound. Gets it into Mikesell. McMahon out of the game now for Ohio State. Mikesell gets a great look and knocks it down from 3. Beautiful play from Kevin McGuff. It's a 6-point game. And now Kenny Brooks will take a timeout. Virginia Tech will have 1 timeout remaining. 43 seconds to go. Still work to be done for the Hokies.
Kevin McGuff with 5 players capable of making threes on the floor, and a great look by Taylor Mikesell. A great look for Taylor Mikesell just means she's open for a split second.
Yeah.
It might not be a great look for somebody else, but it is for her.
7-3 for Mikesell. 25 points in the game.
Smart for Kenny Brooks to take the timeout so they can advance. He still has a timeout left if they have difficulty getting the ball inbounds. Important to note that they do have the possession arrow if Ohio State's able to cause a tie-up.
And McMahon looks like she's headed back to the Ohio State locker room with 43 seconds to go in this fourth. The Big Ten Freshman of the Year, who has 18 points and 7 rebounds tonight. Virginia Tech, of course, can throw this in the front or back court. It's Amor racing away from contact. Amor running clock, and Mikesell finally is called for the foul.
You ever play dribble tag? That's kind of what it looks like. You're
Yeah.
just trying to outrace everybody with your handle.
In case you're just joining us, here's the stories tonight. Taylor Mikesell at 19 in the first half. Virginia Tech clamped down in the second. Amor and Kitley, huge nights for the Hokies. And the starters have done essentially all of the scoring for both teams. Very tight rotations.
No timeouts for Ohio State. They've got to push the ball up quickly.
Amor hits 2 more critical free throws. That's a story for Virginia Tech. They're 22 of 24 from the line. Sheldon in for 2. No, says Kitley, off of Sheldon. And it is almost in the bag for Virginia Tech.
Liz Kitley in her bag here. We've seen it all night on the offensive end of the floor, and then a huge block as well.
23 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks for Kitley. And I believe they're just going to review to make sure that this is Virginia Tech basketball.
It certainly looked like it went off of Sheldon after the block.
So each team will get a chance to gather its
Reviewing
players.
the out-of-bounds play.
Let's see, Kitley the block, her 3rd of the night, and looks like it last hit Sheldon. Another look here. Yeah.
Sheldon had success multiple times this game, driving on the left side on Kitley, able to get the shot off, but not there.
Sheldon does have another year of eligibility for Ohio State. 19 points, 5 rebounds in this game.
Liz Kitley yet to announce what she's going to
The call on
do
the floor is confirmed. It's red ball.
after this season, whether she will go to put her name into the draft or whether she will return.
Going to remain with Virginia Tech. Gregg will inbound. Virginia Tech 1 timeout remaining. Gregg bounces into Kitley, who's immediately fouled, and free throws coming for Liz Kitley. All right, Rebecca, still a little work to be done here for Virginia Tech, but 30 seconds to go, leading by 8. Some initial thoughts from you about how Virginia Tech might match up with LSU Friday night, 7 o'clock on ESPN.
Well, certainly all eyes will be on the matchup inside in the paint with Liz Kitley and Angel Reese, because those are two outstanding but very different types of post players. Both teams are very solid on the defensive end of the floor. Alexis Morris, Georgia Amore. If we get that matchup, it'll be fun. Assuming we get that matchup.
Kitley misses the second. Virginia Tech 23 for 26 from the line tonight. Mike Sell lets it fly. No. Rebound Kitley. And Ohio State will foul one more time as Kitley takes a big hit there at the end of this one. But it is nearly time to celebrate for the Hokies. For Ohio State, an outstanding season. Their first Elite Eight since 1993. And with what Kevin McGuff has built at Ohio State and the talented freshman Cody McMahon, you know they are going to be a force for years to come. Kitley misses the first. A 25-point night in the Elite Eight for Elizabeth Kitley. Clock running. Mikulashikova gives it up. Sheldon can't hit the three. Rebound Amore. Ohio State backs away. And for the first time in program history, Virginia Tech is headed to the Final Four. (84-74) the final as the Hokies take down Ohio State and will meet LSU in Dallas Friday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Huge games from Kitley and Amore. And Virginia Tech, so impressive in each of their games here in Seattle.
An experienced Virginia Tech team that never looked rattled and came out shooting the ball well, handling the pressure well, continuing to make the big game plays late in the game, led by those two young women right there.
The Final Four is set. It'll be LSU and Virginia Tech, 7 Eastern on Friday on ESPN, and then South Carolina and Iowa. Championship coverage will begin Sunday, 2:30 Eastern on ABC. Virginia Tech, a 1 seed for the first time in program history. The smiles, the hugs, the celebration for the Hokies as Liz Kitley and her parents celebrate a first trip to the Final Four. The season ends for Ohio State despite 25 from Taylor Mikesell. And the Hokies are not done yet. Kenny Brooks with his family celebrating the victory. Time for the confetti to fall and Holly Rowe to talk to some women headed to the Final Four.
Well, this is a historic night for you guys. How important is it to be making history for Virginia Tech? First trip in history.
It is so huge. I can't even speak right now. I can't believe it. Ohio State is such an incredible team, and that game was just phenomenal. I'm just so happy for us and the program.
Liz, it was hard, though. You've got blood dripping down your leg right now. You had to battle in the post. How did you do it and really get separation late in this game?
Yeah, I think we knew going in that they were going to be really physical because they were pretty undersized. So we kind of had a game plan to go against that. And I think we executed really well, especially against the press. I think Georgia did amazing. And we just did what we set out to do, and I'm really proud of our team.
You two started out continents apart, and yet you've developed this special chemistry and connection. How have you done it?
I'm just so funny. And she just appreciates good humor. I'm so giving and grateful that she got to stay with me during COVID because we made a lot of memories during that time, good and bad, yeah.
You took a really hard hit in this game. What was that like in those moments? You were wobbly getting up. You scared everyone.
Yeah, it just caught me off guard. She just caught me in the chin, but what's a little hit? We had a game to win.
All right, Coach Brooks, last thing, came over, kissed each of you on the forehead. How does this man drive this team, and what has he poured into you?
We've just been through so much together, and he's worked so hard, put his heart and soul in this program, so for it to be where it is at this point, I'm just so happy to be a part of that.
All right, go celebrate, you funny people.
Thank you.
How about the personalities of Georgia Amor and Liz Kitley as they celebrate their win here tonight? There is the hug. Virginia Tech 84, Ohio State 74. For our producer Kerry Callahan, our director Jimmy Platt, Andrea Carter, Holly Rowe, and the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. I'm Ryan Rucco. The Hokies headed to their first Final Four. It all starts Friday, 7 Eastern on ESPN. But up next, it's SportsCenter.